Hey there everybody, my name is Kayo. Today we're going to be opening up something else for another one of our websites called Next Action Phase. Next Action Phase is a website that focuses on board games, and when we play a modern board game, we're actually learning new skills. Our goal in Next Action Phase is to kind of bring those skills to light and to talk about them there. So for that website, we've acquired a large number of board games over the last few months. Some of them we ordered from a website in the States called Miniature Market, and they've come to us in these boxes today using a service called My Shopping Box that brings in different packages from the US or Europe or anywhere really, but they handle all of the customs brokerage and shipping. So let's grab the boxes. We actually have two boxes today full of games. Box number 1 and box number 2. So this is actually a lot of games that we got from this website, Miniature Market. We decided to order a lot of them at the same time so that they would come in these big boxes. You can see that there's some seal stickers. That's done by My Shopping Box. So when they get packages in, they have to check them before they bring them into Philippines so that they can label them properly. But the items themselves are unopened. So let's open them up. I need a key. I know how that's really stupid that I didn't say I need scissors or I need a knife. I'm gonna open it up using the key. There's a nice big giant bubble wrap. And the first game we have is Munchkin Loot Letter. This is a great party game. You can play it in about 15 minutes. Promotes communication. I think that this is a good beginner game. It's not the most advanced board game, but you know, stay tuned for our coverage to see how well this game plays. Next we have Gear World: The Borderlands. This is what we call a big box game, meaning that there are a lot of different parts in here. This game is made by Fantasy Flight Games, which makes a lot of our favorite games. Yeah, it looks like some sort of territory control game. It says a game of conflict in a post-apocalyptic future. And then it's got this nice steampunk aesthetic. One of the things we want to do in Next Action Phase is actually do playthroughs so that you can see us playing the game and you can find out if you like them. If you do want to play these games, we actually have all of them in our board game library here in Honeycomb Manila, so you can come by and play with us if you want to. Our third game is Rick and Morty: Close Rick Counters of the Rick Kind. This is a deck building game. So if you're not familiar with deck building games, it's a game that uses primarily all cards, and you kind of buy the cards as you're playing and you try to build a successful system of cards during the game. We've seen other games using kind of the same mechanics also from this manufacturer, from this publisher, Cryptozoic. Sometimes the skin, kind of the theme of the game, makes a game more playable. So stay tuned, especially if you're a Rick and Morty fan. Up next we have a game called Grog Island. I know nothing about this game. I've never played it before. But it was very highly rated on BoardGameGeek.com, I think. Which is why we chose to go with this. It's a story about retiring pirates starting businesses. It has a lot of components inside, and the game it says 40 minutes to 75 minutes for 2 to 4 players, but usually when it says that means it's a much longer game. They just don't want to write 2 to 3 hours, you know, on the box, because then no one will buy it. But I think they underestimate that some people like to sit down for 2 hours and play a game. And then last in this box, we have another big box game. This game is called Urbanization, and Urbanization is published by Queen Games. It says it's 75 plus minutes, so it is a long game. The reason I picked this was, one, it seemed to have an okay rating on Board Game Geek, and the other reason is that the art seems really nice. If you look at the back, it has a picture of what the components look like in the game. Another game I don't know anything about, and we're gonna learn. Oh, it's too many. They don't fit on the chair anymore. There's one more box in here, and this is Sons of Anarchy, Men of Mayhem, Cavalera's Club expansion. I actually ordered 3 boxes worth of games, and I forgot to click the button on my shopping box dashboard that shipped the 3rd box. This game is an expansion pack for another game, which is in that 3rd box. We're gonna be able to play this in a few more weeks when the base game arrives in that 3rd box. And that's the 1st box. 2nd box, we will get out our trusty key again. 2nd box, oh, Homeland the game. Be vigilant and trust no one. A game of espionage, deception, and paranoia. So this game is a somewhat collaborative game, I guess. And you're trying to work together to solve mysteries or solve puzzles and stop terrorist attacks. But you don't know, but one of the players on the table or more may be a terrorist and is poisoning the pot. So it's a great social game, but it also has agendas that need to be accomplished in the game. I'm quite excited to play this game because it's based on those earlier seasons, or that first season when the show was actually any good. I'm told, and I've experienced for myself, that some of the more recent seasons are good again, but that original season was still, top of the line. Everyone was talking about it. So there you go, Homeland the game. Very excited to go back to this universe. All right, next we have one of my favorite games. This is Grifters. Grifters is one of my favorite games of all time. It is a deck building game, but there's some limitations as to how you're allowed to use the cards and what cards you're allowed to get. But this is definitely one of my favorite games. So at the end of the game, the object is to have the most money. So you need to be able to get characters to build your criminal enterprise in such a way that is very efficient, basically, that you can make the most money. So Grifters, it's a great game. Very happy to get it. There was, if I remember correctly, there was nobody selling this in the Philippines. And that's the case for a lot of these games. We specifically look for games that were a little bit more difficult to get. But thank you, my shopping box, making this possible. Next, we have a game designed by Jesse Lee, and this is called Ponzi Scheme. This is a really heavy box. Basically, every Ponzi scheme that we know about today is kind of derivative of that original Charles Ponzi business. So this is kind of a good game to understand how Ponzi schemes work. I guess if you play this game, maybe you'll get an idea of how not to get scammed by one of these. So stay tuned. I think that this will be a very educational game for everyone playing and everyone watching. This is a lot of games. Next, we have a small game called Crius. It appears to be a card-based game, a cooperative game. So this is an interesting small box communication game about people putting together a planet. So I guess we play different gods. Crius. Looking forward to that. Ooh, this looks good. This is called Chosun. Something I really liked about this game and why I decided to pick it up was because the card art is fabulous. It's very well executed, especially if you like comic style. Chosun, looking forward to play that one as well. We have another big box game. This is called Versailles. I haven't played this game before. So this is what we call a worker placement game. It sounds like similar to Lords of Waterdeep. We're looking to build that city for King Louis XIV. So that's another thing about games, is that while you're learning skills, you might also be learning a little bit of history. So that's quite exciting. Last in this box is Prophecy. This is another big heavy box. So there are cards involved, and there are player cards, plastic bases, and 10 stand-up figures. So that sounds really cool. This also had quite a high rating on Board Game Geek, and it's published by Z-Man Games, which makes another favorite game of mine called Chinatown. Pandemic, I think, was also made by Z-Man. So that's all the games in our 2 boxes, and as I mentioned earlier, and in the comments, maybe tell us which one of these games you're most excited to see us play or open up or talk about. Or if you've played one of these games and you think it's garbage, let us know that as well so that we know what to expect. Thank you to My Shopping Box. Please make sure to follow us on Instagram. It's at Next Action Phase. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube page, please click the subscribe button. Thank you very much. My name is Kayo, coming to you from Honeycomb Manila. Peace, y'all.